About 6 years ago, my camp took us all on a trip to an amusement park for the day. We left pretty early around, I think, 9 a.m., and they put us into groups with different counselors. So me and my friends all went off onto some rides, had a good time, and we just hung out. I've always been scared of heights, and although I love amusement parks, I was really scared of some of the rides that were high up. Some of the ones that went upside down, my friends could go on, but I just couldn't. So I would like sit around and wait for them until they were done. They would try to convince me to go on them, but I could never do it because I'm really scared of not heights necessarily, but I think speed. It's the way it feels. I kind of got over that fear a little bit once my friends kind of showed me a ride that almost had a straight down drop and it was really high. I told them I would wait for them at the bottom, but they convinced me to go on it with them. They basically just told me that it's not that bad, trust me, just do it once. And as a 13-year-old, eventually they convinced me, and I'm not that hard to convince, and they had no trouble getting me on that ride. So the next thing I know, I'm on that ride and we're at the very top, and I'm just like holding my breath, trying not to think about how high up I am. And I go down, and eventually I realize it's not even that bad. So naturally, I tell them that I want to go on it again. And that leads to me and them going on the ride, I think, about four more times. So that's when I started kind of overcoming my fear of that sort of stuff. I'm still scared to go on things, but if people convince me, if people pressure me into it, I kind of just say, all right, it can't be that bad. And usually it's not. Later into the day, we all go get food, get lunch, and then we do some more rides. But right before we're about to leave and get on the bus, we have to go get snacks at the gift shop, and we're all buying a bunch of candy, wasting all of our parents' money on crap that we're just never going to use, or food that's going to turn into, or food that's going to give us diabetes. Once we're done buying everything for the day, we meet up with our counselors and our other group members, and they take us back to, I think, the parking lot area where the buses were at around 7 p.m. And I think the ride home was about an hour or two. But within the first 20 minutes into the ride, we're on the highway and we're at a standstill in traffic. And it stays like that for another 30 minutes. Now, we're all really concerned because it shouldn't take this long for traffic to speed up. So we hear later on that on the news there was an issue up ahead on the road that we were on, and there were so many cars stacked up that no one could move. And since the camp was taking multiple age groups, there were multiple buses, I think three buses from ages 10 to 16. My bus was the older bus, so we were pretty chill, and a lot of people weren't complaining too much because we're, a little older than everyone, so we're more compliant. But a few hours go in, and everyone obviously gets thirsty. We're stuck on this bridge for about an hour or two, and everyone's thirsty because, it's 90 degrees out during summer, and people are thirsty, especially kids. They had a very limited water supply, obviously, because they didn't think we were going to get stuck on a bus for this long. So they had to give us each bottle cap sizes of water. They would pour little bits of water into the bottle cap and give it to us, which isn't enough to quench any thirst whatsoever. While everyone was complaining, me and my friends, we still had snacks and drinks that we bought from the gift shop, but we didn't have a lot. We just had enough for ourselves. So I was like hiding that shit and savoring it. Like whenever someone would come over, I would just put the like bag behind me full of like snacks, candy, and like water and just like sleep on it, like lay on it so no one could see. Because I don't want people saying, he has water, and everyone trying to beg me for water. Eventually, people had to go to the bathroom. Now, we're at a standstill, so it's not that hard. Counselors just have to take like groups of three at a time into the woods, and then we all come back. But something that made this a lot worse, that I said it was 90 degrees, the weather outside. We were stuck in traffic for hours, and the buses, they couldn't have AC on because they can't keep the bus on for hours when they're not going anywhere. So we're all just like burning alive because it's so hot. Even with the windows down, it's insanely hot. But by some miracle, the truck in front of us was carrying bottles of water, like a lot, not just like one or two crates. He was carrying multiple, enough for the three buses, and he just gave them to us, so we were kind of saved from that. Eventually, we did start moving about 2.5 hours in and got home around 11 or 12. Now, at this time, all of our parents were waiting at the mall for us, and it's been hours, so we're just like texting back and forth, and they're just kind of waiting for a very long time. I think they've been waiting at the mall for 3 hours, and we got home very late. So we were all really excited because, as kids do, when this crazy stuff happens, we like to enjoy it, even though it's not supposed to be enjoyable. For us, it kind of was. I don't know. But I think that's pretty much it. I just kind of remember this story and wanted to share it about like a camp experience where we got stuck on a bus for like 3 hours. It probably was worse than I'm describing, but like I have faint memories from it. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. So I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya.